Hello, everybody. Welcome to Super Gamecast 2. My name is Bronson Fiore, and I am joined by the always awesome Aaron Reynolds.
Always awesome.
Always,
Forever.
you are forever awesome. That is the standard you must uphold.
But you know what? I just recently voted, so I am just a little bit more awesome today.
You feel good?
I
How
feel I feel great.
what were you voting on? What was going on in Seattle? Like, because I know we follow the standard here in Nevada, so we don't have off years.
We voted on well, the big ones were dealing with affirmative action, uh, applying affirmative action to public uh jobs, public education, things like that. I don't know, but yeah, public stuff. And then there was a big car tab drama. They would apply a tax to when you get your car tabs. That for some people it like was a crazy amount of money, but the people that created this plan to dial that back went way too far and like knocked it down to $30, which the guy who was pushing it pushed it down to $30 in like 2000. And
How much is it to register your car there?
well, so it depends on what car you have, what car you're
Well, okay,
registering
of
it
course,
for.
but because so my last year's car registration cost me $100.
Okay, I honestly don't remember. I want to say it was less than 150.
That's like 150 just seems like a lot.
I mean, it's a lot, but we're also in Seattle. We have a higher income generally around here.
Well,
But
yeah,
but that's the
you're
thing. That's what the issue with the tabs is like you would get like a if you got a car that was newer at one point, or like if it costs more to buy initially, it was like it added on a certain amount to your tabs even if you like bought it used.
by how new it is, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
And so it was like it wasn't applied very well, but then the people who had like a counter argument against it had an equally terrible plan because those tabs funded a lot, including dealing with upholding roads and expanding public transit and like yeah, it was a mess. That was the big one that was like what? But really, the big issue with Seattle is like three or four of our seven-member city council found out that people didn't like them, so they just bowed out, and so it was a free for all.
I mean, I've heard that I've heard things about that city council not being the greatest.
Yeah, that was another thing where that was over a tax that was not well applied to bigger businesses that could afford it had it been applied well, but it wasn't. So it was like the citizens were like, "Man, we would have voted for this had you not handled this so poorly. So now we're not going to vote for it." And now everyone's like, "Why does everyone want to let Amazon off with not paying enough taxes?" And it's like, it's not a black or white issue, but anyway, that's what Seattle's dealing with right now.
Yeah, I remember our last election was last year, and our two choices for Senate were both awful.
Cool.
They like,
Those are always fun.
yeah, it was like okay. I want you to imagine like the most neocon you can imagine against the most old like '90s Democrat you can imagine.
The first election I think I ever voted in, I accidentally went to the wrong polling place, so I could only vote for like the main senator bit, and it was Harry Reid versus a neocon.
So you lose.
So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, well, this decision is easy, but also, Jesus.
Yeah, I ended up voting for and it ended up just being the abortion issue that turned me over because
Okay,
everything else about his track record as like being in like Nevada government was actually pretty great. It's just
okay.
I'm just like I can't like this one issue just like you not won't like you wanting to go against Roe v. Wade is enough for me to be like nah son sorry,
Uh,
which sucks because the other guy I have my issues with a lot of the non-social parts of the Democratic platform.
sure.
So Yeah. So we had one bill that I don't know how to feel about it. I voted against it just because I don't think this should have. I don't believe there should be a mandate from state government, which is, I believe it was 30% of all of Nevada's energy and transportation must be from renewable resources by 2030.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of like, I feel like that's not something like you should mandate. I get why you are like you want to, but that's gonna cost an ass load of money.
Sure. Well, so that mandate was that one that was being was that being put forward as a vote by the people? Is that what you were voting on? Was implementing that or not?
I forget who put it up, but it was one of our someone in the state legislature,
Okay.
and yeah, that was it got passed, so now that's gonna happen.
Oh.
But so
Okay.
yeah, which I mean, in a state whose state's constitution says that we have to have a balanced budget, like that's in the Nevada state constitution. I'm like, that just means something's gonna get cut or taxes are going way up somewhere. That's what that means. Okay.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, so this is what happens when you have a constitution like that, though, or a law like that. It means that during recessions, the state is just crippled,
sure.
but during upward
Times
swing
like now.
times like now, it's like massively booming.
Yep.
Which it is massively booming.
That's when I last left was Reno was still dealing with the recession, and that had forever been imprinted on my mind. Then I came back earlier this year. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is this place?
Yeah. No, it's this neighborhood. Perfect example. Though there's still some shadiness in this neighborhood because I'm not sure if I posted on Twitter or not, but I did post about it on Facebook about how, okay, so I have that delivery service water.
Yeah.
Because I don't entirely trust the pipes in my house for drinking water. It's a really old house.
Yeah, right.
So I have, and also it's just nice to be able to have hot tea like in an instant.
Sure.
Like it gives me boiling hot water in an instant, so it's like nice
Nice.
to be able to just have tea whenever I want.
Yeah.
So I have that water service delivered. It's super cheap. It's like $15.
Okay.
And so I had 2 bottles delivered. One of them was stolen,
Huh.
and one of them was open, partially drank, and then left in my front lawn.
Fuckers.
Like I instantly just had I was just like I couldn't believe it. Also, this past week, so you know how we have 2 bins in Nevada, one for recycling, one for garbage?
Yeah.
Hey, guess what got stolen?
Which?
My recycling bin.
Cool. Why?
I don't know. Why the fuck would you steal a recycling bin?
Right? Storage.
I guess.
If you don't have any other form of storage, I guess.
So pissed off.
I went by your neighborhood a couple times last time around, and it seems like not a whole lot's changed. Some stuff's changing nearby, but
The thing is like 8 or 9 houses have been torn down and turned into like new places.
really,
Yeah, like literally like 3 houses over. But it's not enough to scrub out all of the hood yet.
right?
The gentrification is not strong enough.
God, the pros and cons of all this. Good God.
Oh, I can guarantee. Like I'm telling you right now that that most, like I think they said the median rent right now is $1,400 to live in the Reno Sparks area. If you just do Reno, that goes up even higher.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was talking with my friend Nate about this, and he's like, "Why the fuck did I move back from fucking Washington? I shouldn't even bother. I should have just gone to Texas." And I'm just like, you're not wrong.
You guys are still at 725, right?
825.
Okay, well, that's a little better, but still,
You can't
Jesus.
no. And the thing is, though, is because of how expensive everything is, most jobs don't pay minimum. I think even the crappiest jobs pay like 10 now.
That's true. That's yeah.
There are a couple
But still,
there are a couple exceptions. Like I know my girlfriend, she gets less than 10 at Kohl's.
ugh,
And I'm just like,
Jesus Christ, you guys.
yeah, like I don't know how people do it. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, I like, like I like, and I've been, yeah, like it's. It bewilders me. But yeah, so politics.
Yeah, fun. But
welcome to our new
elections.
political show.
Yeah, hey,
Uh,
welcome.
oh my God! If you and I were running a political show,
Oh God,
oh, that's
I couldn't do it.
I could do it, but like I would just come into work every day, just like the world's on fire.
Yep.
Yep.
Edition 672.
Yeah, like I don't know how like I don't know how like either right wing, left wing, or like I don't know how Tim Pool does that dude's show every day.
Right.
I don't know how that dude does it. Like how he just doesn't like wake up in Illinois and like gets in front of a microphone and like tries to inform the world every day without just wanting to hang himself.
It's hard.
Because like I'm gonna be like some days I don't read the news. Like I try to every day. I'm trying every day. I try and read The Hill or Politico. But
Okay.
some days I just can't. I'm just like I don't. Fuck no.
Which is fine, every once in a while, a day. Sometimes you need a day.
Yeah, like, and I'm a big believer in you should stay informed because our entire government is it is a representative republic based around you electing the proper people.
Yep.
Instead of just electing the same person for like 74 years until they die because you know the name.
Right. Oh man, it was funny. I don't want to extend this any more than we have to because we have a lot of show to get through. But I just wanted to share on the radio. They're moving forward with Roger Stone's trial, and they were getting the jury settled. And there's this one woman that was like, "Oh, I don't keep up on the news. When I watch TV, I only watch figure skating." And like my coworker and I just looked at each other, is like, "Is there that much figure skating on TV?" Like,
dude,
seems like a lot of figure skating.
Dude, I'm sure the way cable is now, I'm sure you can find
like a channel,
anything you want to watch 24 hours.
I want the NFL network of figure skating.
God, I remember back when I used to work grave shift, they had cable at the houses that I worked in.
Mm-hmm.
And like, man, did I miss NFL Network. Like, just 24/7 football, and more football. Fuck yes. And my Broncos won this week. God, we're fucking awful.
You got one.
We're 3-5, baby.
Yeah.
And honestly, we probably should be 4-4. We got hosed real bad in that Bears game.
Yeah.
Got screwed by the Zebras. Anyway. Yeah, no. So it's
Good Lord. So that's been happening. The world's happening.
Yeah. But we're here to talk about video games.
We're here to talk mostly about video games.
Psych! Guess what the first news story is?
Ah, shit.
Politics and video games.
Okay. Let's go. I still have some energy left. Let's go.
Alright, so hey, BlizzCon happened this weekend.
Oh, that's right, BlizzCon.
We're gonna get into all the happy stuff about BlizzCon later, but first we need to discuss. So we obviously went over this earlier. Blitzchung gets banned for saying, supporting Hong Kong.
Yeah.
During his winning celebration, they took away his winnings. They suspended him for a year. Backlash happens with the public. They suspend him for 6 months and give him back all his money. Same thing with the casters that were there.
Yep.
Public outrage is still there.
Yep.
But for the most part, it's kind of waned. But there was protests at BlizzCon.
Yep.
But god damn it, I hate to say I was right. I hate I like well because here's why I hate saying it, because what I said on the podcast the last time we recorded was like, what's gonna happen is they're gonna announce D4 or whatever new Warcraft thing or whatever it is, and 90% of their audience is gonna be like, oh fuck Hong Kong video games, you know.
Well, right.
And boy fucking howdy was I right.
And it's the struggle of video games is that it is a medium where not only do you enjoy the entertainment, but you form communities around it, and you know.
And yeah, and the thing is and a lot of it was, and a lot of this not giving a crap was happening before the event even started. Because from what I heard about the actual protesters at the event was, and I knew people at the con, and I asked them. I asked them if, hey, be my eyes and ears. And this is what I got from my first question. They posted a picture on ground. I messaged them like, yo, where the protesters at? And they're like, outside the security line, there wasn't any as we were walking up.
Okay.
So, like, there was just, like, this small group. It looked like, if I was judging by the videos, I'd say at best 30 people.
Right.
There were some Winnie the Pooh costumes.
Okay.
Throughout the con. And then at the World of Warcraft Q&A panel,
Yep.
there was a gentleman who came up to ask his question and instead just quoted Blitzchung with Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Times.
Yep.
And then this little kid, during a couple times during the Q&A, was yelling, free Hong Kong, and then the little kid goes up during one of the questions to the presenter, who, this MC handled this like a champ. He's a YouTuber named Taliesin of Taliesin and Evitel. They're a Warcraft channel. This dude handled this like a champ. He got, like, the kid walked up and he's like, yo, what's up, man? And he, like, literally gives him the mic.
Yeah.
And the kid just, like, free Hong Kong, and then just the kid bounces. And he's like, and the Taliesin, all right, great point. And, and then starts with the dude's question about, legendaries or whatever it was. So, it was a very small presence.
Sure.
Like, it was a very loud minority, as I expected. As I've been trying to get through Quinn's head this entire weekend.
Oh, okay.
Like, our friend Quinn is like, oh man, Blizzard, Blizzard's hoes, like, this is such bad PR for them. And I'm like, Quinn, this is, like, just like a lot of these things, this is just a very loud minority.
We obviously should continue talking about it. It's something that that I think Blizzard should address in the long term and get better at. But BlizzCon is an event to celebrate their games.
Yeah, like this
and they were going to enforce that. And
and you can't and the thing is you can't get a refund on the tickets. So like,
also that too, yeah.
So like, if I'm telling you right now, if I had spent, especially for those people who bought like the deluxe pass for like $500, if I had spent $500 on tickets, Blizzard could have burned down the rainforest. And I would be like, I spent $500.
Right.
I spent $500. I'm gonna go and have a good time. I spent $500. I won't buy any more of their shit. I won't deal with them. But for those 2 days, I'm gonna pretend Blizzard didn't do something awful. Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
I understand.
That's a lot of money.
Sure.
Even for their regular pass at like $220, like even then I probably would have gone if. Especially because like you have to book the hotel in advance, and some of those places charge fees for that, and then then you gotta try and get a refund for the plane ticket, unless you're driving, of course. So definitely understand why people went and had a good time. And then Jalen Brack, head of Blizz, comes out and apologizes during the open ceremonies. and said, hey, we need to be better, and we think actions speak louder than words. Going forward, we're going to act in a way that is better than this. And to be fair to them, even though this apology did feel fucking hollow as hell, to be completely fair, they did let people, they let the Pooh Bear costumes hang out and run around.
Yep.
During their, I didn't pay for the virtual ticket, but I did watch some through other means. And during there were several times where they would pan to the audience, and they panned on the Pooh Bears and the Hong Kong T-shirts and stuff. They let that kid go up and answer the question. They absolutely let the protesters do what they were going to do as long as they were non-violent.
Right.
So that I get credit to them for that.
We were saying a week or two ago is that the best way they could play this is to address it up front, and then not just kind of let it happen, and just be good sports about it, and then just try to ignore it as best they can.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, they and I don't know how they're going to handle the next esports event that comes around.
Right.
I'm very curious about that. How if a caster or I don't think they'll care if the audience does, but if a player does it, are they going to do a 6-month ban? Because I know another player did it fairly recently, and he got a 6-month ban. It wasn't about Hong Kong; it was about something else, though. But
Okay.
okay, so I mean, fine. At their event, you can say whatever you want. So, they let it through. Once again, I just want that proof in the pudding of okay, if another if someone comes out and says trans rights or something else inherently political that's not about the game, will they be suspended?
Right.
That's what I want. That is because if that happens, I will be inherently less pissed. Because fine, you are upholding to your crappy standard.
I will say it's a crappy standard, but at least they're applying that crappy standard equally.
Yeah, all right, fine. If that's how you want your eSports event to be run, you just want to be focused on the game. It's your event. It's your fucking game. You're the one putting the money down. You're the one running the broadcast. You can do what you want.
Right.
Yeah, so, but
anyway,
as someone who is in the Blizzard community, very integrated into the Blizzard community, in fact, I am literally in the shelf in front of me has 6 World of Warcraft Collector's Editions, Wrath of the Lich King to the current expansion. I have put hundreds of hours into Heroes of the Storm. Diablo, I played so much Diablo 3 when it came out, I broke 2 mice from all the clicking. I have an Overwatch jacket, and I leveled 1 to 50 in Overwatch in the first 3 weeks I had the game. So I like a lot of what Blizzard produces, and I've grown up alongside those games, and WoW Classic has been a dream come true. If you can boycott, absolutely go ahead, do it. If you don't want to boycott or you can't boycott for some reason, just say what you gotta say in some other way, shape, or form. Go on the forums, go on Twitter. Even if it's something minor, I didn't buy the virtual ticket this year. And man, that was hard to do, especially as they kept announcing cool shit that you got for having the virtual ticket.
Right.
You got Deathwing, you had access to the Warcraft 3 beta, and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, fuck. Just the forums, and once again, this goes back to the investors didn't see this as a bad move, and this goes to the bigger point of as we move forward, we're gonna have to deal with this a lot from a lot of different companies.
Yep.
I perfect example of this is, and maybe the backlash should be a little longer. Right now on Twitch, World of Warcraft is the 3rd most popular game.
Right.
At this very moment. And then, it's behind just chatting which okay, and the new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, man. What give me your rundown.
A good rundown.
No, give me your take.
Oh God. I mean, yeah, it's more. It's just that it's the you have to speak with your money, but if you can't speak with your money because we have friends, we have communities that we find value in that are specific to certain games, especially games like WoW Classic that capitalize on nostalgia. You can't just take that over to another game,
Right, and then like you also have the fact that like maybe that is like your favorite game,
right?
And like you don't want to stop playing your favorite game. Like God knows that this world sucks enough, and like
Yeah.
You enjoy what you fucking enjoy.
Find ways to, but yeah, like find ways to even if you're putting some money into the ecosystem, like you can limit the amount of money you're putting in. You can look for active ways to get the message across. This is about something that you don't agree with. You can look for passive ways. Sometimes you don't want to be. Some people just don't enjoy being Mr. or Mrs. Activist every single day. Like we were talking about earlier, it can tire you out. You can get exhausted. Maybe you can get a little more passive. Find so someone could start a guild, Free Hong Kong or something dumb like that, and so you don't even necessarily have to talk about it, but you're like wearing it as a badge.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm sure that there has to be a guild out there called Free Blitzchung, right?
Right. Yeah.
It has to be.
Probably like 20 people, but
Yeah, like it's probably
something.
Yeah, it's probably like a raid team out on retail, probably.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And like the thing is they could have very well, the company could have came out and just ignored this shit and like cracked down on the protesters, like fuck you, but
right.
they didn't. Yeah,
we need more time to see how they handle this long term. We need to see if pressure on them continues, because it didn't manifest necessarily too much at BlizzCon, but maybe it manifests again long term, depending on how people spend their money or spend their time. And I think it's just a situation to monitor while shit pops off all over the place, because also Blizzard's, like we were talking about, Blizzard's not going to be the only one that deals with this.
I cannot wait for this shit to happen to Riot.
Right.
It's going to happen to Riot Games. Something like that. Like, they have fucking League, and now these other games that are going to be set in the League universe, which will be just as big.
That are trying to capitalize on, like, esports stuff.
Yeah, like, dude, I'm telling you, like,
yep.
If a year from now, like, League of Legends team so-and-so is banned because the company is 78% owned by a Chinese company, not going to be surprised at all.
Right.
Yeah, it's because it's part of it's like, North America is no longer the primary biggest entertainment market in the world.
Yep. So it's going to be this interesting issue, and so the best thing I can say is just to, speak out for what you believe in, but do it in a constructive manner, and do it in ways that are comfortable for you. If you still feel like you want to play, World of Warcraft or Overwatch, maybe you've been training for hours and hours in Overwatch and been trying to play competitively, and you don't want to leave. It's understandable, but just find ways to speak your mind.
Right, and the thing is like, I know that people like posted that image of like alternatives to these Blizzard games.
Right.
Like not everyone wants to move to the alternative or find the alternative
that's
fun.
The thing. That's nice for people who like that is a viable option for, like, if they were trying World of Warcraft and they were like, I like MMOs, but maybe I'd like to try something different. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
but for people who are entrenched in the system in one way or another, it's harder.
Yeah, like so like especially because if you're really big into like heroes, like Dota is a completely different game.
Yep.
Just because the MOBA does not mean it's the
Right.
same one.
The Heroes of the Storm, Dota, and League have differences between the three that aren't minor.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, yeah, man. I don't. So we'll keep monitoring this. I hope that it. I hope that it all pans out well. As someone who grew up in Blizzard is probably the second most influential and second or third most influential developer in my like forming my taste in video games.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond, like probably second only to Nintendo and maybe Bungie. This whole situation like has sucked as a
Yep.
whole, and
Yep.
and last year did not help. I know that a couple people have said that this, they had an amazing BlizzCon. We're about to dive into that.
Right.
And my girlfriend was like, "Well, this was totally a reaction to the China thing," and I'm like, "That's not how trade shows work." And anyone who says this does not how trade show works.
If they had time, maybe, but they certainly did not have the time.
I think
This
that,
was in reaction to the Diablo stuff from last year.
yeah, the nightmare of last year's BlizzCon of like they showed off a Warcraft patch, a phone game, and a remake.
Right.
So and it was so yeah. I think that like I think maybe them. I think maybe one or two things. Like maybe one of those things was like, hey, can we speed this up a little bit for BlizzCon?
Yep.
Like maybe the fact that Warcraft is getting its phase 2 in like a week, that might have been one thing, just to pad the list a little bit. But
Even then,
you know,
you know,
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we got a fucking
we gotta go. We got a lot
we
of
got
stuff to
we.
cover.
They showed off Diablo 4. With a very long cinematic. It is a 9-minute cinematic.
Oof.
Yeah, like this big, and this goes back to my point of, man, I just want Blizzard to make a movie. I just want a CG movie from them so bad.
Because the Warcraft movie, how involved was Blizzard in that?
They had some say into how accurate it was to the lore, but other than that, like not much.
Now, yeah, see, if
So-
Blizzard just made cinematics,
Yeah,
and
it was-
just a
it was-
full-on movie.
And it was a live action movie too.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, so and to be fair, it was like as a Warcraft fan,
Mm-hmm.
they screwed up two parts of the lore, but other than that, it was it was good. It was a nice interpretation of that.
Okay.
All
right.
like it was not bad.
Well, then that's all right.
So yeah, then they showed off.
I was wondering about that like a couple weeks ago, whether that was good or not. I never went.
I saw it with a girl I was dating at the time who was crazy.
Okay.
There's a story there. I'll tell you later.
All right, fine.
So yeah, then they showed off the actual gameplay, which the cinematic was super dark and edgy. And then you watch this gameplay and you're like, I think they took that Diablo 3 comments to heart.
Yes.
This looks very much like modern Diablo 2 versus a sequel to Diablo 3. They've shown 3 classes of the initial 6 that there's going to be. It's either 6 or 5. The Barbarian, the Druid, and the Sorceress.
Okay.
All of them look great. They've said this is a very early build. This game is not going to be out for a while. So as per Blizzard tradition, I would expect at the soonest we're looking at 2 years for this.
Man.
It was playable on the show floor, and they did have itemization done though. So, who knows?
Right. Yeah. Wow. I wonder what their plans regarding Diablo 4 were as of last year's BlizzCon. If, yeah, that's as far as they've gotten with Diablo 4.
I think they probably had a cinematic trailer. Because from what I heard and from all the news stories is they were going to show D4 but not have it playable. This year they had it playable. So
Okay. All right.
I don't I don't know how to feel about it. Yeah, like it looks good. It looks like Diablo, and like it once again, it looks like they heard those comments of like looks too dark and it looks too colorful and bright, and we're like, fine, like we're gonna make it as bloody and gross and gory as possible. I think it's just like this giant snake going through a river of blood. Like there's as much blood as I've ever seen in one of these damn games. Like they really took that bit to heart, I guess.
Yeah. Good.
One thing I like is there's mounts now. Thank God.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it looks neat. I didn't watch any of the deep dive stuff regarding it. I kind of want to do what I did with Diablo 3 and go into this as blind as possible.
Nice.
Yeah, showed off some screenshots. I'm throwing them on the screen. Once again, top down, not a Dark Souls like, not a roguelite.
Right.
Not a first person game like originally rumored. So yeah, next thing they showed, which is not in order on here, but they showed off a new StarCraft 2 commander for co-op.
Yeah.
Menks, he looks cool. StarCraft 2 is a dead game, probably at this point.
I was gonna say, like, what?
They keep putting out co-op commanders, and I'm like, look, I know you guys have it on the launcher, and I know you guys want to pretend it's not dead, and you still do some esports stuff for it, but like, you don't have to anymore.
Like, what does that do? Have a co-op commander? Does that really do anything significant in terms of your gameplay experience?
It changes your abilities and stuff, and some of your units in the co-op mode. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a community there?
I mean, StarCraft 2 is a huge game.
I mean, yeah, but like they're all playing the multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
The co-op is still part of the multiplayer, so I guess.
Is it?
I mean, you can play co-op, like that's multiplayer.
I mean, competitive.
I mean, I don't know. Like that's the I don't. I'll have to ask Jared because he's really into that game. I play through the story mode of those games and never touch them again. So.
Okay.
Heroes of the Storm got a new hero. It's the most requested hero in their history. Deathwing.
Right.
Big giant ass dragon.
Is this their Ridley?
Yeah, this is very much this game's Ridley. This thing is as big as some of the damn bosses in that game. Like, he's bigger than towers he's destroying.
Ugh.
They also said during their panel, I know this isn't during the opening ceremony announcements, but someone asked them, no, the game is not dead. They're continuing to work on it. No, a pro league is not coming back anytime soon.
Okay.
So they have a very small but dedicated community. They're very thankful for. And if it weren't for like how extremely dedicated the community is, they probably would not be getting development on it. So,
okay.
Which, yeah, you know, that I'm glad, because in my opinion, that's still the best MOBA. It's the one I find the most fun.
Do you think they make a Heroes of the Storm 2 ever?
No. I think they just kind of keep updating Heroes 1.
Okay, that makes sense.
Very similar to League and Dota. Well, Dota got to say it, but the first Dota was a mod. Yeah, like, I think the problem with Heroes of the Storm had nothing to do with the game. It had everything to do with timing and its fucking name.
Yeah.
If they would have just called it Blizzard Dota or Blizzard All Stars, like
right,
it was originally supposed to be called Blizzard All Stars.
Okay.
Yeah, but they chose Heroes of the fucking Storm, and then it was just too late to the party. Like its alpha hit the year Dota, a year after Dota 2 was in full game.
Yeah.
And its full release hit 2 years after.
Okay.
It doesn't matter that, in my opinion, it's a more interesting, engaging game, but, you know, it's just didn't work that way for a lot of people. So, but game's going to go alive and well. They're going to keep making new characters, new maps.
Okay.
So, cool. Moving forward, we got World of Warcraft. Fun little joke they did there is, so for at the concession stand, since so many of you seem to like vanilla, we are going to be selling vanilla ice cream at the concession stand. And also, so a few years back, the head of Blizzard, when he was just on the Warcraft team at the time, when asked about classic servers 9 years ago now, he's like, you think you want that, but you don't. I'm sure you remember this story.
I do remember that, yes.
And he was the one so he said the vanilla ice cream thing is like, you think you want this, and we think you do too. They announced Phase 2
okay.
coming to World of Warcraft Classic. That's out in a week. World bosses, PvP honor system. So if you're not at level cap yet, get your butthole ready, because people are going to be out murdering you.
Oh, God.
If you're on a PvP server.
I was going to say, yeah, PvP server.
If you're not on a PvP server, whatever, you're lame.
I would never.
You'd never do a PvP server?
Nope.
Nah, dude, it's the best way to level.
I don't want to deal with assholes.
Other
people.
Yeah, but like you don't run into them that much, and it does create this like weird like. It creates this moment that you don't get in any other game, where like you get this moment of like you just stare at each other and you're like, you gotta make a move. Are we doing this? And then like you'll see just like random lobies in the middle of the road, and you're like, do I want to end your life? Do I wanna? And sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't.
That's the thing, is I would never. I'm just that kind of person. I would never do that to a low level person.
And that's
why I don't think PvP is for me.
And then of course my favorite is when you run into someone who's way higher level than you, and you're just like, please, sir. Please. Like all you can do is like slash wave or like hide. But I like had this moment where like I was deep in like horde territory, and like there were like 6 of them around the mountain, and I was just like, any chance I saw one, I would just like duck behind a tree, and it's just like you create this like weird moment of like, yes, I'm questing, but I'm also trying not to get murdered. Yeah. So, or like last night, I actually ran into a really cool moment like 2 nights ago where like I had to fight this thing that was 4 levels above me, and I got really close the first time. And I'm like, okay, if this comes off cooldown, I can do it. And then I see this like level question mark, so he has to be 52 plus. Tauren come up to me, and I'm like, oh, Tauren Warrior come up to me, I'm like, oh, please don't tell me this dude's gonna gank me. Please don't tell me this dude's gonna gank me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes over and helps me kill the thing.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, what a homie. And then I've noticed that warriors don't want to murder other warriors as much.
Right.
And I think that's because they know how much it sucks. Like, leveling as a warrior truly does suck. Anyway, back to the Warcraft downtime.
Yeah, news.
Then they announced the new expansion for retail, World of Warcraft Shadowlands.
Right.
They had a big, giant cinematic that was amazing as hell. Probably the best fight scene they've ever done in a cinematic. Of the Lich King fighting Sylvanas. And then they show off the new features. So I'm going to go over a couple things there. First thing is they have a new zone. It's known as the Shadowlands. It's going to have 5 new zones, 4 to level through. The leveling is going to be linear, so you go through the zones in order. Not like the last 2 expansions where you pick a zone, go the next one, has its own story. Pick a zone, go the next one, it has its own story. This is all one linear story. And then an endgame zone. So there's that. The next big change is they made a bunch of changes, so there's less RNG, better professions, better stuff like that. And then there's the Covenant system. So those 4 zones each are linked to a faction. You have, and then those factions, You'll each hear their story and how that they are helping the Shadowlands, and you pick one depending on the abilities you'll get, their story, the cosmetics you get, stuff like that. Like one of them is just like a race of vampire people. One of them's like because this is the Warcraft universe is basically Otherworld. You'll run into like old lore people that are dead.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So, they announced that they're doing a level squish. So the level cap for World of Warcraft is going from 120 back down to 60.
Right. All right.
So that's happening, and they're changing the way you level through content.
Cool.
So hey, Aaron, let's say you make a new Warcraft account.
Oh God.
If you do that now, you have to play through a starting zone that tells you nothing about the regular Warcraft experience, or MMO experience as a whole, as you know.
Okay.
Then you level from level 10 to level 110 to get to the new content. The problem with that is you level so fast that you don't get a coherent story at all because you never finish a zone. Right. And not only that, but you're leveling through Cataclysm into Burning Crusade, into Wrath, back into Cataclysm, into Pandaland, into Draenor, into Legion, into Battle for Azeroth, before you're finally at the current content, which will be Shadowland. Into Legion, into the current content of Battle for Azeroth. This is the way Shadowlands is going to work for a new player. Alright, you're going to get this special zone where your faction is sending you out to go recover and rescue these people they sent out to this new island. Right?
Yeah.
And there's where it'll teach you what the game actually plays like, what your rotation is, all this other stuff. So yeah. And then at level 10, you'll do a mini dungeon.
Okay.
And then...
Yes, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then it'll be like, alright, you're going to level through Battle for Azeroth now. So you'll get caught up on the most recent story, and it'll feed right into Shadowlands, which will be current. So, sounds pretty sweet, right? You get caught up on the story, it's all nice and linear now. Okay. Yep. What if I'm an experienced World of Warcraft no-life? What if I have been here fucking a million times before? Well, one, the leveling experience for characters from to get to Shadowlands is going to be 70% faster than it is for a character to go from 1 to BFA now.
Okay.
So, big plus there.
Mm-hmm.
Then, on top of that, what's going to happen is you do 1 to 10. You can choose to do a starting zone, or you can choose to do the new experience for new players with the mini dungeon.
Right.
At the end of that, you meet up with Chromie of the Bronze Dragonflight, and she's like, alright, you're a hero that we need to train to get up to speed. Which training scenario do you want to go through? And you choose between all of the expansions which one you want to level through.
Wow.
So if you want to level through Wrath, you'll level through Wrath. If you want to level through Burning Crusade, you'll do Burning Crusade. Kata, Panda, Draenor, Legion, Battle for Azeroth. If you want to stop and mix and match partway through and play Who's the War Chief, as they described it at BlizzCon, go nuts. But for the most part, you are probably just going to want to stick to the one, because one expansion should get you from 10 to 50.
I see.
So if you do all the or most of the zones in Northrend, or most of the zones in Burning Crusade, or Pandaland, or whatever it is, you'll get there. Because what happens now is, like, let's say you hit level, I believe it's 80, and you want to do Pandaland.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get through Jade Forest and maybe half of another zone before out-leveling it and having to go to Draenor. And that's been one of their big problems.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So yeah, they've also so that was that was one of their big things there. So you'll ally with one of 4 covenants, which will give you gear. You'll explore the new continent. You'll they have this new thing called the Tower of the Damned, which is basically World of Warcraft, the roguelite.
Okay.
I'm not even fucking kidding. Like, it's
All right,
like you can do it solo, you can do it with a group, but it's basically just an endless dungeon that you slowly progress through and get rewards for.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Then they fixed the Mythic Plus system for loot. They fixed the Legendary system, the Profession system. It honestly feels like they're just taking, like, Legion was this great expansion that was one of the best the game ever had, but was a little flawed.
Mm-hmm.
BFA made a lot of those problems worse or showed the kinks in the armor of those systems over time. This feels like they're taking all the feedback from 2 expansions worth and putting it into one fixed product. It feels like a real, like, hey, we're keeping the content most the same with new lore and fixing problems with this.
Do you think they had a lot of this kind of set before the whole Battle of the whole WoW Classic started blowing up? You would think, right?
I think they did, but I also definitely can tell that some of these systems, you can tell they were like, oh, you know what you're doing.
Right.
You know, you are, like, some of these things are like, that sounds like very familiar to an older game you made, gentlemen. Yeah, especially in regards to targeting gear.
Okay.
Because now you'll be able to target certain, like, items or pieces that you want, and just play as much as you want to try and get that piece. Very similar to vanilla. Like, in vanilla, if I want such and such shield, I can run that dungeon 40 times in a row till I get that shield. Yeah. So, versus current game where there's just so much damn RNG involved.
Great.
So yeah. Right. Smart changes. Oh yeah, they're unpruning abilities. They're making classes feel more like their class and not their spec.
Okay.
They're bringing back a bunch of old abilities for a bunch of classes. Yeah, just once again, feels like a big tune-up expansion versus like a big features expansion. Legion was a big features expansion where it's like this new thing and this new thing and this new thing and this new thing, versus this is like, we are fixing a bunch of shit that you have been asking for, and we know it's a problem. Trust us. So yeah. You know, I have had my problems with retail over this past expansion. This past expansion has gotten better with every patch, and certain content has been good the whole time, like the narrative and the raids. But it still, like, this next one, let's put it this way. They said it perfectly in this this YouTube video I watched regarding post BlizzCon. Legion is Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
BFA is its less attractive brother, Liam Hemsworth.
I gotta look up Liam Hemsworth here.
Well, you know, what old's Thor, man?
I know.
So yeah.
Dude, I don't... Okay.
Anyway. But no, it doesn't mean Liam Hemsworth bad, it's just not, you know, Thor.
Okay, in terms of attractiveness, I think that's not a good way to go. But yes, one is Thor and one is not Thor.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, like, and like, you kind of fear that every time that there's a really good expansion. It's like,
sure.
You kind of have that fear that the next one is not gonna ride that high. And you know what, like, because Legion was following the worst expansion in the game's history.
Okay.
Legion had a blessing and a curse of low expectations, but also if it failed, the game was gonna die.
Great.
So, but yeah, lots of smart changes, lots of good stuff there. The lore looks so cool because this is a new place we've never been before. It's completely unexplored in the lore. So many interesting new concepts. Like, big fan of what they're doing there.
Okay.
So, Warcraft got done, and Hearthstone came up.
Right.
Hearthstone's getting a new expansion based entirely around dragons.
Dragons.
called Descent of the Dragons, which launches on December 10th. Had a nice little wacky trailer, which I love how they've created all this fucking stupid lore and continuity in the Hearthstone universe that is now canon for Warcraft. About how it's the League of Explorers versus Evil.
Okay.
Evil's an abbreviation for something, I forget what it is. But now it's like they're fighting a war with dragons over fucking Dalaran. And I'm like, are you serious?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Alright. So yeah, I like how just like this is what's happening while all of regular WoW is going on. Yeah, they're also adding a new 8-player mode that's like slot machine chess, I guess is the best way I would describe it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks crazy and wacky and like very Hearthstone. Yeah, and then so that was Hearthstone's big stuff.
All right.
And then Overwatch 2, which they did their fancy cinematic trailer. I thought Winston was gonna die. So they did a cinematic trailer, and then after that cinematic trailer, they said Overwatch 2 will share in shared multiplayer ecosystem with Overwatch 1, allowing for players of both games to play on the same maps with the same heroes. Cosmetics will also carry forward into Overwatch 2, so all your skins and shit you paid for will...
that would be good.
As someone who, during that first Halloween event they did, spend a lot of money in this first Christmas event, yeah, I'm generally a fan of that idea. So that's cool. They are going to have new maps and characters like Toronto and Sojourn. Also, they're doing a new PvP competitive mode, Push, and now they're going to have a new story-centric gameplay, which will also have like co-op story campaign missions, and cutscenes and whatnot, along with heroes getting an updated look.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'll be excited to of all the games that are out. I think I resonate with Overwatch's look more than just about anything else.
that's because it is a rad looking game.
Yep.
The characters look cool. Like there are so many skins that look great. It just plays super tight. There's the fact that, and there's like the simple fact that like you will be able to find at least 1 to 2 characters that you gel with and that you can play well.
Yeah, and the problem is I got to stick around and play. I just love playing as air rollerblade healer guy.
Lucio.
I love playing Lucio. I don't know if I'm good as him, but I love playing as him.
he's one of the easier heroes to play, for sure. It's all about like healing your team and speeding them to like learning to use the difference between the speed and the
healing, right?
The healing and using the wall run to your advantage.
Yep.
One of the big changes is you can level up heroes now too. So like they have like skill trees. Like if you put a pulse bomb on someone, it pulse bombs all the other enemies around it.
Oh god.
You can customize abilities now with ability cosmetics. So like for example, Reinhardt's hammer will be a circle instead of a like triangle in front of him.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on there. That was a game that I played really seriously for about a year and then fell off of, but every time I go back to it, I have a good time. Like, they showed Overwatch 2. After they showed it, I put some time into it, and I tried the new hero out that they put out a couple months ago, and damn it, I had a good time. Especially because now they make you choose. So now they make you choose a role before queuing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So now you don't end up in that horrible situation that just sucks horribly.
Yep.
Of having like 5 DPS and 1 healer, and you don't have a good comp, and you're just fucked.
Right.
You can still end up with bad comps, but now it's less likely because now you are for sure going to have 2 tanks. You are for sure going to have 2 damage and 2 heals.
Okay.
and they even show queue times for each. So like tank will be less than 2 minutes, healer will be like 4, DPS will be like 8. Yeah, so yeah, and then that's what they closed with, and banger of a BlizzCon, man. Like,
Yeah.
like you could not have asked for a better BlizzCon after all that drama.
Well, right.
Of last year and this, like,
Yep.
this shut most of the people who were already like on the no Blizzard train, kind of turned that around after this. You know, of course, there's always going to be people still, on it, but this, once again,
I was already unintentionally on it.
yeah. So,
So, we'll see how things. I think it's a situation to monitor. I don't think it necessarily ends with this BlizzCon.
I don't think it ends, but I think this quiets the discussion for quite some time unless they screw up real bad going forward.
Yep. So, keep an eye out. But it seemed like they've got the developers of Blizzard seem to be responding to their players and are working on making some good games.
Yeah. Oh, the last little piece of news out of it, and this is just a cool feel-good story. Lyoun Lee has become the first female winner of the BlizzCon Hearthstone title.
Oh,
So, yeah.
cool. All right.
Yep. Lee said it 2 years ago. We'll wait in the back, sign up for a tournament. A man told her that women shouldn't be there. It's not for you. And well.
Oh, I
yep.
see.
Here's the thing. I do competitive fighting games, and and I feel that esports and competitive fighting games both have this in common, where have this thing where it feels like girls aren't allowed, even though they are.
Yeah.
Like there are some because there's like even if the majority of the community is cool, which in our case the community is very cool, there's every now and then there's just always that one dick who's chirping.
Yep.
And it's like shut the fuck up, you idiot. You know, like,
and it doesn't take a majority to ruin that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It sucks. It really sucks. Yeah, so here's how I'm glad she won it. I hope that opens up the doors for more women in Hearthstone, more women in, video games in general, and more in competitive games. I would love to, and I think that, that in my experience anyway, a lot of women aren't as into the competitive side of games. Like
right.
I know some, but like I don't know many women who just get like as obsessed with it as a lot of dudes do for getting better.
Sure.
And like getting into it, and then that's fine.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some, and I would love to see them come out and come to events and compete, get better.
Yep. Nope. There's there's a fun scene to be had in video games and competitive video games, but we just gotta work together. Just keep working on making it better.
And the thing is like you can't force it because like there have been a couple attempts at trying to force it, and like perfect example is there was this all female league team that just like they took a bunch of the best. Some of the best and a lot of really good female league players that were willing to be on this all female team, but this team kept getting hosed because they just were not, good enough, and the team itself just didn't have the right, just like most of their team plays healers, and if you counterpick against their team, a lot of their team just is immediately screwed before the matchup even starts.
Oh,
is one of the big problems of the matchup was of the team. So I think it has to be a case where it has to be organic, and I think it'll get there just over time. Yeah. Huh. Because I know a lot of really good female Overwatch players for damn sure.
Yeah, sure.
Like that can mess us up real good. But so we'll see. Yeah, I'm good on her once again.
Absolutely. That's great.
Yeah. So a couple other cleanup news stories, and we can get into what we've been playing.
Yep.
Hey, guess what?
What?
GameStop's a bunch of motherfuckers.
Oh man. All right.
Hey, you know that holiday Thanksgiving? You know that holiday that you really like, Thanksgiving, where you get to eat a
Oh
bunch
yeah, I
of...
know. I'm aware of the. I'm aware of it. I try to watch a parade on that same day. Apparently, other stuff happens.
You watch the Cowboys, you eat a bunch of really good food. Yeah, that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Sometimes,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes you spend it with your friends and family and loved ones.
Sometimes you
Sometimes.
spend it decorating for Christmas.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, GameStop, if you work there, they don't want you to do that.
Oh boy.
Or if you're a consumer who wants to buy shit from them.
Right.
They'll be open at 3 p.m. local time on Thanksgiving Day.
3 p.m.
Yeah, right when, you're
Right when
probably...
the dinners tend to like start
Right,
revving
yeah,
up.
yeah, right as you're, like, in mid-appetizer. Yeah, at least in my family. Like, that's when we're starting to eat through, like, the olives and the crackers and the cheese and the salami.
Okay.
Um, I grew up in an Italian family, okay?
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah, so, and then, like, it's... So, like, and we'll be open to stay open through 10 p.m. local time. Before then, in the past, they have remained closed on Thanksgiving out of respect for the company's workers who might have family gatherings that day.
Yep.
GameStop's Black Friday deals actually being even earlier as the deals go live on GameStop's website at 8 p.m. on Wednesday.
Oh wow.
Black Friday itself, GameStop will open at 7 a.m. and close at 10. I hate this so much because I used to be a fucking employee there too.
Sure.
So my Black Friday, so the way they did Black Friday when I was at GameStop, and I worked at the mall GameStop, by the way, which is the most packed one, of course.
Yep.
They opened at midnight, and they went till midnight for that night. So you'd still go to Thanksgiving and have your Thanksgiving dinner and do your thing. In fact, the year that I worked there was the year you and I went to the buffet for Thanksgiving.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So went out. So you go out. So you go out, have your dinner, go to bed early. My shift was at 4 in the morning. Wake up 3, go down there, go do my shift, get off by noon, have the rest of my Black Friday, go shop and hang out with friends and family. It was great.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. Okay, look, I realize that I'm not very traditional with the way I do Thanksgiving, because most of my family's in other parts of the country that I don't want to pay to visit, or can't afford to visit in some cases. Right. So I, on Friday, gather all my friends and do a Friendsgiving. However, most people do not, and fuck you, GameStop, and any other retailer who does this shit. Okay? Here's the thing, and the thing is, if you did it after the dinner, I would understand.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine, like, if you do it at, like, 9 at night, you want to open at 9 at night, fine. Okay? Because at that point, you're out of the dinner, you're done seeing your family, all's good, right?
Yeah.
But at fucking 3 in the afternoon...
Right?
Eat all of my ass. Dear fucking Lord.
No one's gonna be there.
No. You know what the sad part is? Is like, no, you find out there are gonna be people there.
I mean, there will be some for sure because they don't even really do anything about Thanksgiving.
Like, the sad part is like, I went to JCPenney's last year because they do this thing on Black Friday where they hand you a scratch card and it's worth a certain amount off. And there are a couple lucky people who get like 100 or like 1,000.
Good God.
And like people line up for that like the day prior.
Oh man.
And I'm like, you people are fucking, like, these companies are scum, and like these people, I don't know what their deal is, but right. This is meant to be a day for your family and friends and, like, shit you are thankful for despite the holiday's original origin.
Right.
Okay, like, which, you know what, as long as I'm on my fucking soapbox, I might as well get at it.
Okay.
I know the fucking origins of Thanksgiving, people on Twitter. I know. I know that we have done some fucked up shit in our country's past.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Especially people of Caucasian descent.
Uh-huh.
Alright? But let's just take a minute and appreciate the fact that the modern interpretation of the holiday is go enjoy your friends and family, eat a bunch of fucking food, and enjoy yourself. Okay? Like,
People are still pushing like the colonial Indian, though they had a dinner and had a nice time in school. Like, but the modern interpretation of Thanksgiving, I think, seems fine.
yeah, like, get the fuck off. Like, someone was posting on my feed, like I posted this meat, because every year Christmas is happening right after Halloween, apparently. And I posted the picture of this turkey just being like, no, you wait your turn, fat boy. I post that shit on my feed. The most innocuous shit that my grandma would like.
Right.
And someone's just like, the pilgrims were murderers. And turkey tastes like napkins.
How dare you?
And I'm first.
Yes, it's plain, but I like turkey.
You know what?
Put some gravy on that.
First off, yeah, you put gravy on it or fry it. You ever have fried turkey?
I never had fried turkey.
It's delicious and juicy as hell.
I gotta try that.
You gotta fry turkey sometime.
I mean, I've got an air fryer in here. I just gotta throw some turkey in it.
You can do it with a wok too.
Really?
Yeah, you can fry anything with a wok. Actually, you just need enough oil.
All right.
And also to be very fucking careful.
Well, yeah.
You know, so frying shit is dangerous. People don't realize how fucking dangerous it is to fry shit.
Hey, let me tell you, air fryer.
It's not the same. It's good. It's good.
It's good.
It's good, but it's not the same.
It's good enough if you don't want to deal with. If you're lazy like me, it's like I don't want to deal with. You know, you got to be careful and add the right amount of oil. Anyway, you just throw it in there, and it's like 10 minutes, it's done.
I really like making fried burgers.
Interesting.
Well, no, what you do is you cook a bunch of burgers, and it generates its own oil and like beef, fat contents. And
yeah.
And then you cook another batch of burgers in that bitch.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Yeah, I can teach you a lot of fun stuff about how to get heart disease. So yeah. Anyway.
Back to the original soapbox.
Yeah, like fucking. So yeah, fucking. Someone's like turkey tastes like now. I'm like, first off, look, we know the original fucking yes, they were monsters. Okay, but do you not want an excuse to have a day off and eat some bomb diggity food and hang out with people you like?
That's the thing. Thanksgiving is it's really about just being, thankful for the people in your life. Like, it doesn't even have to be family. Maybe your family's garbage.
Yeah, no.
Go hang out with friends.
Like, with the exception of my mother and a few select members, I wouldn't want to hang out with any of my family. To
be honest, I hung out with I just hung out at home on Thanksgiving, and I was fine. I was just thankful for the day off. Thankful.
There you go.
I ate some turkey.
Man, first Thanksgiving I'm up there for, I'm gonna make us a bomb diggity meal. There's gonna be so much food for two people, you have no fucking idea.
Oh God.
Gonna be waddling into work the next day.
Sure.
I honestly think Black Friday should be off for people who aren't in retail, but that's another different story altogether.
Right.
But are you fucking serious?
Yeah, GameStop. So I have a question here. Do you think this smells of a company that's trying to milk as much money as it can out of this because it's struggling?
I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. I'm kind of curious if their Black Friday deals are open. Yeah,
right.
They have those listed. I'm gonna go to my number one source for that right now.
Yep.
Yeah, because Man, I still can't. I still have trouble believing it. Like, I still have trouble believing it. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna go broader search. Okay, so yeah, it's their Black Friday ad isn't out yet, but they've confirmed. So
Okay.
Best Buy's open on Thanksgiving. Bed Bath and Beyond, CVS makes sense. It's a pharmacy. That's actually one of the few exceptions where okay, I understand.
Are they saying times?
It's 24 hours.
Time?
CVS is 24 hours, bro.
Oh God.
Mattress.
CVS, I understand, but yeah.
Yeah, Old Navy at 3 p.m. Who the fuck is going to Old Navy at 3 p.m. on Thanksgiving? That isn't even a hot ticket item, bro.
Nope.
Those jeans are $20.
That old family tradition of eating our Thanksgiving dinner and then heading over to Old Navy for hot deals on pants.
Like, dude, first off, who needs to go to Black Friday at Old Navy? Because, their regular prices are cheap enough.
Right.
You can get a pair of jeans there for $18.
My experience was Black Friday, you're going to an electronic store.
Yeah, because that's the hot ticket. That's the expensive shit.
And then Cyber Monday happened, but
Well, yeah, but even then, sometimes you get better deals on Black Friday depending on what's going on.
Sure.
But no, seriously. Walmart opens at 6. Ulta, the beauty store's at 6. Victoria's Secret's at 5. Michael's at 6. Kohl's at 5. JCPenney at 2.
JCPenney?
Yeah.
What?
The dollar store at 7 in the morning.
Oh, that one's sad.
No, that one I understand. I get that one because they're capitalizing on shit people forgot.
Sure.
That one is someone forgot something.
Yeah.
Someone's
That's just...
Yeah.
These poor people, these people that gotta work.
Yeah, no, it sucks for their employees. Walgreens, pharmacy, Rite Aid, pharmacy, both of those make sense.
Yeah.
Some of this shit I'll give a pass. I'll give you a pass at your fear of pharmacy. Okay, fine. But, what the fuck is JCPenney's doing open at 2 p.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah. God. Fucking...
Great.
Best Buy is the only one of these that I would even consider showing up at. And that's if the deal was crazy. Yeah.
Sure.
There are people who line up at Best Buy a day early. It's crazy.
No, I believe it.
It's crazy. No. All right, well. So, fuck you very much, GameStop. And if you're working there this holiday season, Godspeed, people.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you. I used to work there. I was there during the Wii U launch. I feel your pain.
Do you think they'll be sitting there at the counter and then the TV will be playing and there'll be commercials while you're sitting down with your family and friends splitting turkey, here are these video games.
Probably.
Watching 5 kids go through merch.
I remember my holiday season there. It was really dead, and then they run the same commercials all day. So I had a Mountain Dew ad and a Halo 4 ad just burned into my brain for a year. Now I can't remember it at all. So
right. Well, that's good for you.
Yeah, thank God my brain was cleanse this, please. Jesus H. Christ. Alright, so Xbox All Access.
Okay.
This is a new thing. So, Xbox All Access program joins Game Pass, and Game Pass Ultimate is one of the best values in gaming. What this is you go ahead and you pay starting at $20 a month, up to $31 a month for an Xbox One of some sort. Access to Game Pass Ultimate and Xbox Live until you run out your lease.
Okay.
So you're basically leasing to own an Xbox for the price of the console and the membership. So that's good. Yep. In fact, you actually end up paying $384 for the Xbox One X. So you actually end up paying cheaper for it. And they're offering a program where we'll be able to upgrade to Scarlet when it comes out.
Really?
Yep. Comes out in over a year, and if you sign up for the Xbox All Access ahead of December 31st, 19, and purchase an Xbox One X, you can upgrade to Project Scarlet after making 12 monthly payments. If you sign up for an S or an S1 All Digital, you're eligible after 18 months.
I find this interesting.
Dude, they're going the phone route.
Yeah.
They're doing the phone thing.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
With an avenue to upgrade to Scarlet, that's $31
a month, and the fucking upgrade. Yeah, someone is learning from the phone company.
Well, yeah.
So, because you're already paying $15 a month for a Game Pass Ultimate, right?
Right.
So oh man, dude, I wish I was you imagine if you're a kid right now.
Right.
Because, remember when you were a kid, you had to do, the console pitch, right?
Yep.
For, oh, hey, Mom, I want this game system. And it was, at the time, it was, $300, and that was an obscene amount of money. Or, in the case of the Xbox 360, $400. So, get straight A's and mow the lawn until you die, and maybe I'll consider it. Versus, just the Xbox One S... dude, $23 a month, and, you essentially don't need to really buy games for it at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, or $31 for the X. And then, if you're a kid, you can pitch, it's for the family because of 4K Blu-ray player.
Right. I'm gonna look into this. Because we've been talking in the time that we have had this podcast going, I have been saying, I would love to have an Xbox One, but we're so close to the new generation, I just don't know. And then the Ultimate Pass came out, and I was like, wow, that's really cool, but there's a PC option, so I'm just gonna play what games come out for the pass on PC, and I'll just do that. And now I'm seeing this, I'm like,
it's
I'm paying $15 for the PC All Access,
so basically a little bit over double gets you the box.
Right.
You also can play a bunch of games that aren't on the PC version.
Right.
So it's fuck. It's no.
I'm going to do some more research.
This starts November 18th. I'm bookmarking this because I might actually use this to get my girlfriend her Christmas gift.
Shush.
She doesn't listen.
You're gonna have to. Oh, you should. Okay.
She doesn't listen to shit. She listens to the first little bit of it, maybe. And it's still a maybe too, because that. So yeah, man,
All right, yeah.
Yeah,
that's an interesting deal. That's a decent move.
So no interest for the first 24 months. Okay, so $31 a month. So hold on a sec. I need to do some math here.
Yeah, I
31
need to see where Telestra is getting its money.
Times 24. So all right, 30. All right, so 24 times 31 minus 500 for the Xbox itself, and then you divide that shit, or divide that 24 by, or the. No, your Microsoft is still making their money.
Right.
They're not making any more than they would just selling all this shit separately to you. This is just opening the door for more people.
Right. No, this is just them. Yeah, this is them getting Xboxes in more homes while they don't have another box out that they're trying to sell.
The fact that you can just piggyback that shit onto a Scarlet, son.
Right. That's the thing I'm most curious about.
Granted, it'll be a month after launch. But still, let's see. So with approval of a Citizens One line of credit, which, that'll be dependent on your credit, of course.
Right.
So availability at the time requires 12 payments of original Xbox and purchase of it. Oh, okay, I see.
Mm,
I see where they get you.
okay.
Okay, so you'll pay your 12 months. You're okay. So what you're doing is you're basically renting an Xbox One X for 12 months
Okay.
because when you get the Scarlet, you renew your contract for another 24 months.
Oh.
So you're paying for the Xbox Live Gold and the Game Pass Ultimate, which okay, fine, like that you would have been paying anyway,
Right.
but none of the money on the X goes towards the Scarlet.
What?
So okay, I see where they're
That just.
yeah.
I think that blew that up for me.
I don't think it blows it up for me because I might just get her an S.
Right.
But because like she just wants to play games, she doesn't care about the crap we do.
Sure.
But that's still not a bad deal. Like it's just that you're essentially just doing a long term rental in X until the Scarlet's out.
You just do the math on how much that adds up. It'll probably be less than just buying the console.
Oh well, yeah. Like so, hold on. So let's say you're locked into. All right, so you're locked into the X at so you're paying $31 a month times 30. No way, that'd be 24 plus 12. Yeah, 36 months. So that's $1,116. Subtract the 500 that the Scarlet will be at launch. So 616, 15, 616 divided by 15. You're still not making out too bad.
Okay.
So because all right, so you take the 500 that you'd have to pay for a Scarlet out.
Yep.
And would leave you at $616 that you paid for Xbox Live slash Game Pass for $15. But if you take 616 and you divide that by $15, that's 41 months of service. So you're essentially paying so what that would mean is you're getting 36 months of service and a Scarlet for the price of a Scarlet and 41 months of service.
Okay.
So you're essentially paying you're basically paying for 5 months of an Xbox One X rental.
Huh.
That's still
Okay.
not too bad. That's
Not too bad.
That's if I really fucking wanted one, I could probably fucking eat that. Like that's. But I already bought my fucking Xbox One X ages ago, so.
Yeah. So
Um, uh,
I don't know. That I've been happy with my Game Pass.
oh, there's
What
more
games have been
games
getting
on
in
the
there?
fucking console version, so
Sure.
like if you're shopping around and you qualify
Mm,
for that line of credit,
right. Yeah.
that's the kicker. I don't know how that situation is. There's no application fee, no annual fees, no late fee, nor repayment fees for your Citizen One credit. However, late payments will be reported to credit bureaus.
Okay.
Can I use my credit card instead of a Citizens One? No. That's a bummer. Does Microsoft provide financing? No, Microsoft does not extend credit, does not determine credit. Citizens One provides financing for it. Let's see. Can I add additional items to my purchase? So you'll get extra holiday offers and whatnot, but no. Are there special day promotions? Yes, get an Xbox One X with all access and upgrade to Scarlet as few as 12 months. It's only purchase for Xbox One X and with all access through December 2019. Kind of with any other promotional offers, exclusive standalone offer. Can I make multiple Xbox All Access purchases? At this time, there's a limit of one Xbox All Access purchase per customer. Yeah, that's still not.
Interesting deal that is worth taking some time to think about.
Yeah, so here's the thing: if you are like where you are, that's a coin toss, obviously. But if you don't have a system, period.
Right.
This is, that's not.
Doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah, that's not, not bad at all.
Spreads out the payments and eventually catches you up to the current gen when that next generation comes out.
A new hotness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Interesting.
I'm wondering if Sony will do something similar.
That would I assume it might depend on how. Well, knowing them, they'll probably see that, and then Sony's crunch the numbers. Is that profitable? Is that worth our time?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see. I don't know.
Which, I mean, Sony, it does not seem like the service company. At least as of right now.
Yeah.
They have PlayStation Now, but I mean, it's not well supported.
If they don't check it out and then they see numbers coming back saying Xbox that was a smart move, then
Yeah, if imagine, because I imagine if they can produce enough, can you imagine getting a Scarlet at launch with this?
Right.
That's or within launch window.
A month. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that is gonna sell a lot of boxes.
It all depends. That's the thing. I need to think about it and read about it a bit more, but I wonder how the majority of people are going to react to this. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, the way that the general public reacts to financing nowadays, though, I think that this is going to go over great.
I mean, yeah, the kids are very familiar with it for their phones, so why not?
Yeah, that's pretty much where it's at. So, what we've been playing?
Oh God, I played a little bit of Control.
Okay.
I am really into it so far. The aesthetic is fantastic. I'm very curious about the world. Shooting feels good. Playing it's been fun. It's been weird having a health bar again that I have to pick up health from enemies I've killed.
Sorry.
But otherwise, writing's been good. I found myself just diving into every document that I pick up, and I find myself looking for rooms and areas that may have a stray document that I can go check out. This happens very early on within the first hour or so, I guess, where you can wander into this area where a guy is flung out of a room and a air canister or whatever flies into his head and kills him. You're like, wow, that was crazy. And then you go to the storage room next door, or the shelter room, and you find a document that said, man, I read this book, which I assume is a real book. I haven't checked it out, but it said, man, my favorite character died from some air canister hitting him in the head. That's messed up. It seems meaningless.
Okay. I have the PC version literally just sitting on my hard drive being like, yo, play me. But I deep dived into a bunch of other stuff this week, so...
Yeah, so that was pretty much all that I got around to playing. This week's been busy for me, but what about you?
I finished out their Call of Duty.
Call of Duty?
Call of Duties.
Alright.
Call of Duties. And I really liked it. I was a big fan.
Okay.
So, one thing I will say is that game probably has the strongest campaign it has had in a while.
Right.
Realistically, it's probably the strongest one since the original Black Ops.
Hmm.
It's it tells a interesting story. It has to really slow down some things, unfortunately, or it's not slow down, speed up some things, unfortunately, to get the point across. But because it is a game, and
Yeah.
it only has a 6-hour runtime, if we're being generous.
Okay.
And so yeah, but I generally enjoyed it enough. I liked its idea of okay, who, if the what the game's point is hey, there are a bunch of bad dudes in the world doing bad shit. We need good guys who are willing to do some bad shit to bad guys to help the world.
Hmm.
Early on in that game, there's this mission where the good guys totally get dicked because of they have to play by the rules, and Captain Price takes the kid and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna show you some covert op shit. Come with me." So, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah. It's fairly interesting enough. You're gonna like a lot of the characters. Um, they have a couple of scenes that are very, very touchy.
Great.
Some they do really well, in my opinion. In particular, the one where you play as this little girl having to go through a war zone. I thought they did a great job with that to show how terrifying that is, and what it would be like to be a kid in that situation. I think that they handle one of their female protagonists very well. I think that so I think there's that. I think that they handle that touchy subject matter in the case of, hey, there's always going to be some bad dudes doing bad shit, well enough, but
Right.
then they fuck up later.
Okay.
There's a waterboarding mini game in this game
Wonderful.
where at one point it shows a flashback of one of the people getting captured, and they get waterboarded, and you have to move your head away from the water and take air in, and then you'll move back and forth and take air in and whatnot, and you control the breathing and such. So yeah, there's that. And then there's that, and then
Mm-hmm.
there is the fact that there is a mission where the actual United States committed a what most of the world would consider a war crime,
Okay.
and it's called the Highway of Death,
Mm-hmm.
which you'll look into it. Look into that if you want on your free time, but that's where the game's really good, but kind of completely fucked Highway of Death mission happens. But
Right.
it's really fucked that one of the game's better missions is set here.
Great.
Yeah. So
I mean, yeah, the Modern Warfare and Call of Duty have not been the best at treading those lines super well. Uh,
right.
remember what was his name? Oliver North.
I wrote an article about that that was quoted actually.
Oh,
They never asked me for a quote, and I found out about it years later.
ah, great.
I was very pissed off to find that out.
Yeah,
I was
but
also apparently good enough to be plagiarized at one point. I'll get over that story some other time.
sure.
Um, yeah, that's the Oliver North thing. I personally don't think No Russian is that big of a deal or that bad. In fact, I actually think they nail that level well, perfectly,
Okay,
because it's supposed to be really fucked up and uncomfortable,
right.
and it is very fucked up.
Yep.
and uncomfortable.
Yep.
So yeah, that's simple take on that.
Certainly doesn't make you feel any better that they knew you were undercover the whole time.
Yeah. So yeah. Uh. So yeah. No.
But yeah.
But yeah. And once again, it's an undercover thing, and there's probably someone. That's probably how you'd have to behave in that situation. Um.
Right.
So yeah. So in this particular one, this particular one, it's very tasteless.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
All right. Well.
And it's a shame because, well, the rest of the damn game, as far as the campaign goes, is really damn good. So yeah. As for the so yeah, I don't know what your opinion on this, because I know you said you were researching it beforehand.
I was basically researching the multiplayer drama regarding camping issues, just the way the maps are of concern. And see, unfortunately for me, I have not been part of the Call of Duty scene for a very long time. It was, the original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, and then I kind of jumped out because we were, okay, I guess I can't speak for you, but I was more of a Halo person.
Same. Oh, I absolutely was.
Yeah. Like, it was just, I enjoy being able to shoot people for longer. I like being alive a little longer. Maybe it's because I'm bad. I got to stay alive longer for like a second longer.
I mean, no, I agree with you. I like that dance of combat that Halo had, and that Unreal had, and more than I like a lot of modern shooter or even Destiny has, versus what is Call of Duty, which is just like pop, drop dead, pop, drop dead. And if you're good, you figure out the maps and you get into a rhythm, and it's this nice flow of running around in a pattern and popping dudes and knowing where to look and knowing how to handle things. As I'll address the campaign real quick here for a moment. Closing off. Good campaign. Handle some subject matter in a poor fashion. Set up for a really good future. Like a really good sequel. Yeah, they at the end of it. So though this is not a prequel to modern COD 4. This is a alternate universe, and the alternate universe version of this, at the end of this game, they form Task Force 141, which, as anyone who's played COD 4 knows, that's the COD 4 team. That's the Gaz, Soap, Price, who go all do all the wet work shit in that game.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's how that game ends.
Okay.
So, anyway, multiplayer. So yeah, you addressed this earlier. Yeah, there's camping problems.
Yeah, it seems like some people have a bigger issue with it than others. There are people who are doing the best they can. Some people aren't even running into it for one reason or another.
I mean, I'm running into it, and it is unbelievably fucking annoying. Because it kind of ruins the flow of what Call of Duty is supposed to be.
Right.
They slowed this game down a lot already. Like, this game did not need the camping to help slow down the game. Right? Like, they didn't need to do that shit. It was fine. The way, like, the movement speed feels really curtailed. The perks aren't nearly as crazy and overrun. So yeah, but this is a different case.
Right.
This is literally like people will like find certain corners on a map and then just camp there. Like just stay there until someone sneaks up on them, and it's very goddamn annoying. In fact, I was playing a kill confirmed match the other day where, like, for the first 5 minutes or so, this dude was just in this corner. You got me twice from that corner, and I eventually I was like, all right, I need to solve this issue right quick.
Yeah.
And did what I had to do. But yeah, no, it's there. I think that the supposed 36 maps data mine, if that's true, comes to pass, is going to solve a lot of those issues if the maps are well designed. Because I think a lot of the issue comes from the fact that the maps are asynchronous and set up they're really set up for campers. There's a lot of hidey holes. There's a lot of verticality that Call of Duty normally doesn't have, and it creates moments where you just it's beneficial to camp. There's this one map called Piccadilly where if you can get up on this scaffolding without being noticed, you can just pick off dudes in these long sight lines like it's no problem. I ended up getting a massive streak off of that.
So I don't know what the quote is, but I heard that Infinity Ward has come out and said that they purposefully designed it this way because they wanted newer players to be able to compete. Which,
okay, but I mean, that's fine, but this is not a fun way to play this game.
Right.
And
it's weird because when I played Modern Warfare, and I was not by no means an expert, the way I had fun in my shooting video game, because I came from a Halo background, is I got my guns, I'm going to run, I'm going to jump on this roof, I'm going to jump off this roof, let's run into the battle, oh my god, they're both, I'm dead. But that was fun. Let's go do that again.
Right, my
idea of fun is not hanging out in a house unless it's a battle royale.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Spot on, bud.
Yeah,
spot on. Because
man, that's how I'm getting in the top 20.
That's how I get into the top 5 consistently. I am surprisingly good at those kind of games.
I just haven't gotten to chicken dinner.
Me neither in PUBG. I've gotten one in Apex and one in Call of Duty, but not PUBG. It's this thing where it's still fun and well designed, especially in my opinion, partially because of the slowdown. That was a much needed thing in my opinion, because the Infinity War Call of Duties in particular have gotten so fast since Modern Warfare 3 that, if you were new, you were just, done a lot of the time. Versus, because... Alright, so, from everyone, I'm going to give you my little rundown of my history with Call of Duty.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm a fan of these or not, and I've played all of them.
You've played all of them?
I've played literally all the main series ones, I should say.
Okay.
And play the Vita one or the Wii or the...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but Call of Duty...
obviously played the DS one.
Yeah, it was the best one.
Uh-huh.
Of course. But no, I played... I played I played 1 and 2 when I was young, and they were amazing damn games, and I played 3, and I thought it was garbage, and it's because it is garbage. I hate to break that to everyone. That game is not good. It's the first non-Infinity War one, too.
I see.
And COD 4 is a goddamn masterpiece. And same with Modern Warfare 2. World at War is fine. But, I started reviewing these at Modern Warfare 2. I played the first ones as a fan of the series, because, they were well-made, historically accurate shooters, and then they were well-made, just badass shooters.
Yeah, I remember reviewing World at
Yep,
War.
You took that one.
That was the last one I did.
Yeah, and I remember getting mean comments on that.
Yeah, which I understand to a point, but it was Anyway, we don't need to get into it, but it was Modern Warfare 2, two fantastic games, and they're let's go back to World War II, and I'm like, you fuckers.
No, it was sandwiched between those two.
Oh, was it between those two?
Yeah. So it was you had this genre-defining, generation-defining, really
really
game and then you had Let's Take It Back.
Let's take it back, and it's like,
That zombie.
and to people who are like, just coming into games now, it's like at that time, it was all World War II. That's all these games were about.
I cannot stress to you how fucking huge Call of Duty 4 was. Like,
Yeah.
like other than Halo,
Hmm.
there was no fucking game this big. This game was so goddamn huge. Like, it was unbelievably huge.
It was
Uh,
fresh in a lot of ways, one of which being the setting.
yeah, like like it was because shooters before that were all World War II or sci-fi.
Yep.
So like being a modern conflict, in the middle or towards the end of the Bush presidency
Hmm.
was like a very not only novel but like kind of risky approach. And then you have the fact that they did this multiplayer system that for console players was brand new. Stuff like perks and builds and whatnot for PC
Yeah.
shooters was nothing new, but Counter Strike. But like for console players, that was a new thing. The fact that it looked and played well and ran well on a console was also a big fucking deal. Because you gotta remember, this was the time if you played console shooters, Halo was it.
Right.
Everything else is on PC. You want Unreal PC, Quake PC, Doom PC. Some of these would get ported to console, but they'd suck on console.
Right.
This was the first, like, this was like before Battlefield on console was equivalent, or close to equivalent. So having like the console version, the 360 version, like, be as good and look as good as the PC version at the time was a very new fucking thing.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, that's like you cannot fucking like people who are listening to this who are like what 24 or younger. I would say don't you will not get how big that game was.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I mean, maybe just a little bit younger. I don't know. I don't know what the age was of people jumping into that game, but yeah, around there. Maybe younger. I don't know.
It came out after my 17th birthday, which means it would have been your 16th.
Yeah.
So, I'd say a little bit younger than that. So, I'd probably
A
even,
bit.
So yeah, so probably like a 25-year-old or younger. Would
I
know.
Also, that scene ran for a while too. That was also like the one of the biggest things, if not the biggest, for a couple years.
Yeah, like COD, I would say up until Overwatch, COD was like I'm trying to think of a game.
Call of Duty in general, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The COD 4 Modern Warfare crowd. That shit. There were still people playing those games with like 5 Call of Duties later.
Right.
Like that.
Those maps, man.
They were good ass maps. The
Yep.
perks, like, because like there was a lot of shit that other CODs would add that would be fucking annoying. Or like Modern Warfare 2, where like they let kill streaks go way too far. Like
Right.
like just I remember like Modern Warfare 2 was the game that convinced me that kill streaks like need to be limited in some way, because like they already give your team a huge advantage, like
Right.
huge if you have someone good enough to get those consistently.
Mm.
But then you factor in the fact that just like the fact that like now they get progressively better. And so now you can get a kill streak, have it feed your next kill streak, and just progressively just keep murdering the shit out of people.
Oh God.
Like people are really good at that game. It was just a race to who could get their nuke first in a lot of cases.
Right.
Yeah. So. But no.
Man.
So. And then like Modern Warfare 2 is a great goddamn game, and Black Ops 1, in spite of its cheesy as hell campaign, had a good campaign and some multiplayer that did some interesting things, and zombie Fidel Castro.
Right. Yep.
And it was like it was the start of the sub brand being actually worth a crap and being a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Modern Warfare 3, which they went back to the well too many times. Like, they just tried to up the ante, and, like, the game is, like, 1 4-hour long set piece.
Right.
And it's just not a very good one.
Damn.
And then you have Black Ops 2, which is kind of like, in my opinion, Black Ops 2 is the last really, great one until, like, now. Like, because after that you have Ghost, which is just, like, Ghost is the one that, like, was the one where I, like, really started to get mad at what they were doing with Call of Duty. Where I was just like, you are ruining this franchise that up until now has only had, like, one bad game and one disappointing game. And
Man.
otherwise has been, even though it's been somehow a yearly release, a benchmark of quality. And then Advanced Warfare, like, kind of picked it up a little bit, but not really. And then, Black Ops 3 was another disappointment. And Infinite Warfare was just crappy Titanfall. And and then Black Ops 4 was kind of saved by its really good Battle Royale mode. In fact, if Apex never came out, I would say it would be the best Battle Royale.
Okay.
And then now you have this one, which, like, it's them going back to their roots, and turns out those roots are a good fucking place.
It turns out.
Yeah, it turns out when you make a game that defined a generation of console shooters. Like, later, the thing is a lot of people see these games, and I was actually having this conversation earlier today with someone, where, like, if you don't play these games year to year, they just kind of, they look like Madden.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, I've been off for years and years, and it's like, that looks like Call of Duty.
But, like, if you're like me and you've played all of these, I can tell you very distinct differences in all of them. Like this one uses a new perk system, where a lot of perks are built into weapon unlocks and weapon loadouts. And now you have weapons with all these slots and attachments those attachments also give perks. So you can choose to get the bump stock that gives you sleight of hand, or I believe or the bump stock that increases makes you more accurate, but gives you a shittier perk.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And you have a limit of, I want to say it's 5 attachments per gun. It's really interesting. I do prefer the Black Ops. My favorite one of these is Black Ops 2. Because Black Ops 2 made it so it wasn't just about kills. That's another change they made in this one. They're going back from score streaks to kill streaks.
Okay.
Because in Black Ops 2 and onward, it was score streaks. Which, what score streaks are you can get points for capturing a point, for assisting people, healing people, doing all kinds of, using a UAV, etc. And you get points, and you'll get more streaks that way, which will help your team. Like, you can call in care packages, call in mass healing, etc. And then what the Pick 10 system is you have 10 points. Certain things are worth more points than others, but you can pick 10 of anything. If you want to have 6 perks, a knife, and then a grenade, you can. If you want to have the ultimate sniper build of a badass sniper, all the shit that makes you basically untrackable unless someone physically sees you, you can. And it just made this thing. It kind of turned into this thing where you were like kind of encouraged to dick around with perks and, like, find creative ways to game the system a little bit. And I really liked that.
Yeah.
Versus Infinity Ward, which was just like, all right, primary gun, secondary gun, explosive type style thing, and then 3 perks. Which, that system was fine for a while, and it's still a lot of fun. And then this new system is cool, but something about that Pick 10 really appealed to me. And the fact that because of score streaks instead of kill streaks, it encouraged people who are not the best players to get out there and stay alive and participate.
Right.
So,
man.
Yeah. As for this game's multiplayer,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I went over that new gun system. It's cool. The maps are not great. It kind of ruins the flow of the game. I really freaking hope that these 30 or so maps they're supposedly working on turn out better. I really hope that, but like even in spite of those maps, though, I've been having a good time and like finding my ways to work around it. It's just that I do definitely have certain map preferences for sure.
Okay.
Because some do play like the older maps. Like I really like that map in the caves. I really like. Yeah. They also added a bunch of new modes. They added a mode that's basically just Battlefield but Call of Duty. Like,
Which, from what I've heard, has been fun.
yeah, it's just chaos.
That's great.
Like kill times are so fast, and like you have like vehicles are completely OP, but you have the vehicles getting called in with kill streaks. So now you just have people rolling around in tanks while like guarded by VTOL jets, and it's just fucking madness.
Oh man.
Yeah, like it's because like Battlefield is a slower game, admittedly. Like it's way slower, way more focused on realism. And as such, those big maps, they feel like awesome, huge conflicts, and they're a lot of fun, but they don't create crazy in the same way the Call of Duty movement and shooting and perks and kill streaks with vehicles and the size of map and amount of players does.
Right.
It's a cool mode. I don't play it when I'm in the mood for something really competitive. But I think it's something worth checking out.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the night vision goggles mode, which is realism mode, so no HUD, no nothing.
Ooh.
In the dark,
Ugh.
maps are at night, with a few exceptions where like buildings will have lights on and stuff. And you're fighting each other. And you can choose to take your night vision goggles on or off and stuff like that. What I'll often do is going back to the camping thing, actually. On this mode, I end up camping because I'll go into a house that has lights, and when they walk into it, they're briefly blinded, so I'll shoot them in the face. It's super fun. Co-op mode is trash. The missions aren't fun, they're poorly designed, and half the time it doesn't work.
Okay. Great.
So, overall,
Wonderful.
best COD since Black Ops 2, probably.
Wow.
It feel oh, and then as far as visuals and presentation go, it's unmatched. Like it really feels like they're making their like. It feels like this almost is like prep for next gen.
Ooh. Okay.
Especially because like I've heard the base PS4 and base Xbox One versions run like garbage.
Sure.
I've been playing on the PS4 Pro, and it's been mostly pretty good. So like, yeah, and like, man, at times it does look beautiful. So I think that they have made some investments in tech. I hope pay off going forward.
Interesting. Okay.
So there's that. Yeah. Ooh, what else? Yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, that's about it.
What else? All right. That's it.
For that game.
Okay. Yeah. No, you exhausted that.
Yeah. I've been hopped on to Destiny 2. Got my character geared. I'm just kind of waiting on the raid. Find a group for that. Once I do the raid, I'm gonna probably be done until the next DLC comes for it later in the year. Let's see what else. Luigi's Mansion.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I put some time into that. It's very cute, very charming, looks great. Had a great time with it. So what it does is it continues a lot of the improvements they made in 2, but it fixes the problem of in the previous game, they were like you traveled to different mansions or hotels or whatever. This one's all in just one giant hotel.
Nice.
And they go with the old game's premise of, oh, Luigi was tricked to get here.
God damn it.
Uh, it's one of the best looking games on the Switch. Like the lighting's great, has this real CG pop to it. It's very cute. Puzzles have been great. Ghost busting's real good.
Good.
They added this move from the. They had this move that wasn't in the first game, where when you're like going against two ghosts but only get one, you can whip it around and slam it against the other.
Oh.
Yeah, when you get hit, you lose a lot of health. Like I can actually see this game getting hard later, which is a weird thought to think about, but you know.
Right. Interesting. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm 2 hours in. I'm 2 hours in. Two bosses down. I look forward to kind of digging in further and seeing what more there is there. Because I really loved that first game, and I liked what I played to the second. So I'm hoping that trend continues. See, started After Party. Great presentation, voice acting, story, very funny. But all I've done is walk around and talk and get exposed to the drinking mechanic. So I can't really comment on it other than it seems very intriguing so far, and I'm liking the story so far. I'm looking forward to this weekend where I can kind of dig into it and really get my hands on it, into it, and on it.
Yeah. I'm curious what your thoughts on that game are.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So there's that. Wow, I keep making progress. I'm level 41. I'm farming my gold for my mount. I've kind of slowed down a little bit just because I've had other stuff to play for this show. And last week we talked about how I finished Gears 5, right? Yeah, okay, so I think that's about it, man.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah.
Games happened.
Yeah, we're new release season. Stuff is happening.
Yeah. And we got more games coming.
Yes, we do.
Boy, do we.
Got that Star Wars, that Pokemon, what was it called?
Death Stranding's coming.
Yeah, Death Stranding, which is like the most contentious ass shit I've ever heard. Like, I'm so confused on why this is so contentious.
Well, it's Hideo Kojima Unleashed. No Metal Gear. No, it's just this brand new weird ass thing.
It's a brand new world. What was that thing I sent you? It's like, like Ben Peck had something to say about it. Yeah, I'm generally more positive on this game than many of my peers, but it's a joke that low reviews are because critics aren't smart enough to understand Kojima, and not because it's heavy-handed and mostly boring as shit. Oh, and then the Outer Worlds. Look, everyone, I'm going to put more time into it. I'm not sure if Aaron is. It's just a matter of there's so much shit coming out that I don't want to, like, pour all of it into that at the detriment of everything else.
Right.
Especially with, like, I still want to try River City Girls. Star Wars is right around the corner. After Party's only supposed to be, like, 5 hours long. So, like, the reason I'm, like, trying to knock out COD, I'm trying to knock out After Party and all this other stuff is because The Outer Worlds is, like, a 40-hour experience.
Yep.
Death Stranding, should I choose to finish it, is supposedly another 50-hour experience.
Ugh.
I doubt I probably will from what I've been hearing about it. But, hey, never know. So yeah,
Yep.
so what I'm saying here is that's why we'll get to it. Like, I know that game is rad. That game,
Right.
it, like, from what I played, it's great so far. But yeah, you got anything else?
We peeked at Disco Elysium for a second.
Oh right, yeah.
Before this podcast, because some stuff happened.
Because yeah, like I was on GameSpot gathering stuff for news. And Disco Elysium has gotten ridiculously high review scores across the board.
Yeah.
Like, it's getting, like, 10s from, it's got, like, a 96 from IGN, a 10 from GameSpot, a 10 from Conrad PC. Like, I'm going to pull up the game ranking / Metacritic for this game. Disco Elysium for PC. It's rocking an 89.
Okay.
Because I see what's happening.
Oh, what?
2 scores gave it a 7, but everyone else is giving it 9s and 10s.
Gotcha.
So the way averages work kicks that game in the dick. So
Still good scores.
apparently coming to console next year. So it is an unprecedented. What this game is, for those of the uninitiated, is an open-world role-playing game where you are a detective with a unique skill system at your disposal, and you have to go through a city block to interrogate, crack murders, or take bribes, become a hero, an absolute disaster of a human being. I like the. I want to become this washed-up cop that ends up solving it in the end.
Sure.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
And then the Steam reviews are stupid positive.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it other than man, that's a cool name.
So it's rocking a 91 on Metacritic, however.
Okay.
And let's see the reviews. So out of 2,000, let's see, out of 2,222 reviews, 1,800 are overwhelmingly positive, and 2,100 are very positive.
Wow.
So, yeah, definitely look into that at some point. Oh man, I hate how indie games are getting more expensive though.
Oh, I know.
They used to be my escape from $40 plus. Now this is $40, and Disco River City Girls is 30. Money.
Yep. Nope. It's something to consider.
All right. Is that all we got?
I think that's everything.
That all she wrote.
Yep.
No comments this week.
All right.
We love you guys. We'll be
Yeah.
back next week. Sorry this episode's so late. We had a boo-boo earlier in the week.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's all good. We got the episode up.
Got it up.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yep, see you next week. Nothing stops the train from rolling.
Yeah.
Alrighty.